Let me start with housing. When Parliament first opened in 2011, this was a big concern for Singaporeans. So the government mobilized all our resources to tackle this problem. And in the last 3 years, we've built 2 Clementi new towns worth of HDB flats, 52,000 flats. And we've almost doubled the subsidies for the flats, which have been disbursed so as to make the flats more affordable. And the situation is now under control, as many MPs have acknowledged. As Zainuddin Nordin spoke about this, so did Mr. Edwin Tong, so did Mr. Gan Tiam Poh. I think Minister Khaw Boon Wan, MND, and HDB, they've done a good job, both the political leaders and also the civil servants. I know that Singaporeans are still focused on housing. On May Day, after the rally, I met a group of Pioneer Generation Unionists. We had a very good chat. They were very happy to be honored by NTUC, and they greatly appreciated the Pioneer Generation package. So we reminisced about life in their generation. They are only a few years older than me. And we got talking about the cost of property. And I said, well, in those days, a 3-room flat cost $8,000. So 2 of them said, no, I only paid $6,800 for my 3-room flat. And today, that 3-room flat is worth probably more than $300,000. But of course, in those days, salaries were much lower. So I said, what is your salary then? He laughed. He said, I knew you would ask me that question. And he was paid as a teacher $300. And for that princely sum, he started paying for an HDB flat. But as Singapore prospered and the value of their flats rose, they shared in this benefit, and today they have sizable nest eggs in retirement. But they said their children were concerned about housing still being expensive. So I explained what I have explained so many times before, how we are keeping flats affordable for their children's generation as well. Because HDB home ownership is not just about providing Singaporeans a roof over our heads. It is also to give everyone a stake in the country. And it is a very important way by which we boost the assets of the lower income Singaporeans, level them up, and narrow the gap between the rich and the poor in Singapore. And that's why we have very generous grants to help the low income and even middle income households to buy HDB flats. For example, if a $1,000 monthly income household is buying a 2-room flat, the grants can come up to 2/3 the value of the 2-room flat, $60,000, $70,000. And these are very significant wages, very significant subsidies, several years of wages, to help the lower income own their flats, build their nest eggs, and especially be ready for retirement. And that is the fundamental reason why we will always be keeping housing affordable for Singaporeans.